Hey everyone, Starshine here. A super exciting Seafarer game on the 4-player map of the 4 islands is just about to start. Emerald Angel, Hanz, and brettspielorganizer, who is known as Stivler in this game, are joining me for a super exciting game. I hope you will enjoy watching it. Let's check this out. Alright, so based on the placements, the game is really balanced in my opinion. Everyone has a decent setup, while no one has a killer setup at all. The resource distribution is also super balanced, although there might be a little bit less ore. Stivler is the first one to roll the dice, and he immediately rolls a 7. He decides to place the rubber on a tile which does not harm anyone. This also makes a lot of sense for me, as the 6 ore is a very big target for the rubber. With this move, Emerald Angel and Hanz maybe get influenced to not block that tile a little bit. It also seemed to work, as Hanz does not block the 6 ore at the start, although it would have made way more sense, of course. As usual, 4 Islands is a very slow game at the beginning, just because the overall production is not super high. Therefore, there is a lot of rolling and passing at the beginning. I get some super lucky rolls though, as many 6s and also 5s roll at the beginning, which give me a lot of city material already. Unfortunately, Stivler decides to steal from me and steals a super valuable ore from me when he rolls another 7. Another 6 brings me super close to a city again there, but I needed a trade to get down to get a city. Of course I first wanted to offer a sheep because it is less valuable for the others. However, I didn't get that trade through. Therefore I decided to try my luck with a wheat, and Stivler also decided to give me that trade. Of course, this brings him super close to city, as he has many ore in hand already, and of course only lacks the wheat. I still think the trade is still valuable though, because otherwise I can only buy a death card. With another 7 being rolled, Emerald now finally blocks the 6 ore, which is of course a super good spot for the rubber. She also gets the first settlement in the game down, and with the wood port, she might now have the chance to get her early city up. With the 11 being rolled, which is super valuable for Hanz and Stivler, Stivler now gets to place a settlement on the 9 brick with the brick port together. This is of course a great combo for him, as he gets a free card with every 9 being rolled now. With the next 7 being rolled, I decided of course to unlock my 6 ore and place it on a 6 wood. I also stole from Stivler, as he might be super close to the city. I also picked up a great card, as Stivler really needs the wheat, so it is really good I stole it off from him. Surprise, surprise, Emerald rolled another 7, and it goes back to the 6 ore. Luckily, she only stole a ship from me, which does not hurt me too much. Of course, Emerald also decides to build a ship towards the other island, to get the extra points. Hanz is also aware that he really needs the settlement to be placed down now, as Emerald might have it in her next turn. Therefore, he offered very many different trades. However, it was not really possible for him to get anything through. At the end, I got a really good trade out of this situation. I got a wheat and the ore for a single sheep, which is of course super great for me. For Emerald, this means she must build another ship to get the 2 extra points for the islands. With a 10 being rolled, there is finally a lot of brick in the game. Of course I tried my luck and offered Hanz immediately a deal. However, he refused to do a 1-for-1. Therefore, as a 2-for-1 was too expensive for me, we ended up doing a 3-for-2 trade, which of course helped me a lot, as I don't have any brick income otherwise. A couple rolls and passes later, I finally got another chance to block someone. Of course, I took the rubber again off of my 6 ore. I placed the rubber again on the 6 wood, as I don't think a solid block of emerald is worth it at the moment. I tried my luck and pulled from Hanz to get another brick, but unfortunately I ended up stealing a wheat bag which I traded him earlier. With my hand I really needed a trade, but unfortunately I only have wheat for trade, which is of course super valuable for Stivler. That's also why he of course takes the deal wood for wheat. It was still a decent deal for me, as I still got my settlement down on the 3-8, which is a good addition for my ore production. It's really unfortunate though that I really have to port my wheat for a sheep. With the next 7 I am of course the big target. Emerald also makes a super smart move. She places the pirate on me, as she is not affected by the rubber at the moment anyway. With another 5 being rolled, Emerald now has 8 cards in her hand, which of course means she 7s out on Stivler's turn. Based on the current situation, I also think Stivler made the right move to solo block me on the 8 sheep. Unfortunately for me also, the 8 of course rolls right after it got blocked. After a 10, Hanz is also finally able to make some progress again. he places a settlement on the 6 wood with the wheat port, which is, well, not the best settlement spot for him, but at least it is a settlement spot. Also, Stivler got a lot of wood and brick in his hand, which allows him to build 2 roads towards the 511, which is of course a great spot to balance his production. Unlucky Emerald of course 7'd out again with 10 cards. It was not that hard though, as she just discarded a lot of wheat she had in hand. Also, she picked up a very valuable ore which she doesn't produce otherwise. With a 4, Hanz gets a little bit closer to his first city. He has 2 ships in his hand. Those bring him super close to 2 extra points for settling on a new island, which is of course great for him. As Hanz got the possibility to get to 2 islands, which would be 4 extra points for him in total, Stivler decides to block the 11, which is probably not the best block he could have done, and steals from Hanz. On top of that, he's now able to build a city on the 6-9-11, which is of course an awesome spot for his city. Also, Emerald stole enough ore from everyone to get her first city down, which brings her totally back into the game. 1-8 and 1 blocked 11 later, Stivler is able to build on the 5-11. He also puts a road towards the free sheep just to block me from getting to this island. Another 9 later, I decided to try my luck and go for the free sheep. The problem is, I am not really close to settlement, and the 9 which just rolled gives Stivler another free card, which means I will probably lose this race. Too bad for Emerald also that we rolled super many 6s, which don't help her at all. She also makes a super similar move to Stivler. She replaces one of her ships and places on the 9 sheep just to block Hanz to get to this island, which is a pretty smart move I think. Lucky for me, we rolled a 7 and Stivler had to discard 4 cards. On top of that, Hanz also stole a card from him, which is of course great for me as I race for a spot with him. Thanks to the turn before, Stivler was also not able to build the settlement on the free sheep. The problem was I was not really close to a settlement on my turn. That's also why I bought the death card and decided to go for largest army now. Unfortunately, I picked up a VP which is not really good at this point of the game. I also didn't replace one of my ships to go for the 4 ore spot on the top right of the board, which is probably a mistake I think. With a 5, Emerald receives the brick which she elects for building the settlement on the 10 brick, which give her a total of 3 points in this turn. Hanz rolled another 9, which is of course super bad for him and also for me. He built another ship which gave him the longest road. However, I don't think he is in the position to keep that for a very long time. Lucky for us, Stivler rolled out by 7 again, and had to discard a lot of valuable resources for him. He blocked the 4 wood and stole from Emerald, as he probably thought that I would get harmed enough, as he places the settlement on the free sheep now. On my turn, I asked to get down a city on the 6 ore, as I really need to improve my ore production if I want to get largest army. I don't get a deal down though. With Hanz and Stivler both building 1 ship towards the new island, I really need to do something to catch up a little bit with the others. Thankfully, I got some cards in my hand which gave me a city. With the many 6s being rolled, Emerald is not able to make much progress, but she decided to build a ship as she didn't really know what she should do instead. Hanz decided to trade Emerald a very valuable ore, in exchange for a wheat which he really needs to get the settlement down on the 3-5. He really needed another trade going down though. I don't think doing a 1-for-1 at this stage of the game is a smart idea though, especially as I don't really need wood anyway. On the other hand, a 2-for-1 does put me over 7 cards, which is nothing I want with the very many valuable cards in my hand. Therefore, Hanz had to trade with the bank and 4-for-1 his wood for the sheep to get the settlement down. With the many good rolls the last couple turns, it was super easy for Stivler with 18 cards in his hand to place down a settlement on the 4 sheep to get the extra points for the island. But he is definitely not the only one who makes a lot of progress. With an 8 being rolled, I got a lot of cards in my hand. I decided to trade Emerald another ore for a wheat, which is probably not the smartest idea considering how close she is to another city, but I really needed that deal to balance my hand a little bit. With the many cards in my hand, I was able to build a city and also buy another death card, which was a great turn for me. 2 unspectacular turns later, Stivler bought the death card, which could be of course a VP and put him on 10 points. Therefore, I decided of course to block him as I really think he is the biggest target at the moment. I also got super lucky and stole an ore from him, which allowed me to buy 3 more death cards on my turn. I decided to buy only 2 though, as I already got my 3 knights for the largest army, and no one is contesting me for it. With a road settlement, Emerald is now also already on 9 points, with a good potential to steal longest road from Hanz. She really needs another city though, as she has already 5 settlements down on the board. Stivler is getting really close. With another trade with Emerald, which benefits both very much, he can build another city, which puts him on potentially 11 points already. On my turn, I of course had to play a knight, although I wasn't blocked, because I know I have to get largest army soon. As Emerald has 18 cards in her hand, I decided to rob from her. I needed to replace the pirate though, because I need to replace the ship on the 6 or to finally reach the island on the top. From her 18 cards I also picked the exactly right card in form of a brick, which made it a bit easier to get the settlement down. With another 9 being rolled, Emerald now has 22 cards in her hand, and we were pretty sure that she will end the game now. First she placed down the city with all the ore she got traded the last couple turns. Afterwards, she then placed the ship and another settlement down, which puts her up to 11 points and means she only needs one more road or ship to win the game. Lucky for us, her hand is super stuck and she doesn't have any port, therefore she had to pass her turn. Hanz and Stivler got unlucky with another 7 and had to discard 4 cards each. Hanz decided to replace the pirate ship so that Emerald can't connect her road. However, it doesn't really matter if she can connect, especially as Hanz doesn't build any roads or ships in his turn. Also, Stivler is coming super close to the win. Place down a settlement on the 12 wood and then play the road building to build 2 more ships, which also means he's only 1 ship or road away from the win. When it was finally my turn, I was pretty sure that I have to win on this turn, because otherwise one of the other 2 will win definitely. I played a knight, which gave me largest army and puts me up to 12 points. But unfortunately, I didn't steal the right card from Stivler. Also, the roll didn't really help me at all, because no one is settling on the 2. I decided to pull for the win, but also, unfortunately, no luck with that. And I pulled the second road building, which probably means it is GG for someone else. With Emerald rolling an 11, she didn't receive any cards though, and she is still not able to build one more road or ship. Hanz only rolled and passed, as it doesn't really matter for him anyway. Stivler also didn't get any good rolls for him and was not able to build one single road on his turn. He asked of course for a trade that gives him the win, but of course all players are experienced to know that. He passed his turn, and thanks to my road building, it doesn't matter what I roll on my turn, I have the win in my hand. Play the road building, build 2 more roads, and win the game. I think this was one of the most exciting ends for a Seafarers game I have ever played. It was super close and super balanced, and was of course a lot of fun. I hope you also enjoyed watching it, and maybe you will also check out one of my other videos. I want to thank you for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Have a shining day, and see ya!